What if I told you that one food sitting quietly on your kitchen counter right now may be keeping your blood sugar higher than it needs to be, even if your doctor says you're not diabetic yet? And what if removing it for just 7 days could begin changing numbers that may have been drifting in the wrong direction for years? I'm not talking about sugar, not soda, not desserts. I'm talking about something many adults over 60 eat every single day without thinking twice. Toast in the morning, a sandwich at lunch, crackers with soup, a dinner roll at night. And here's what surprises most people. Many of my patients never realized this one habit was quietly working against their energy, their sleep, and yes, their blood sugar. But what happens inside your body when bread disappears for just 1 week? The answer may surprise you, because by day 5, something important often starts changing. And if you're over 60, this matters more than ever. I'm Dr. Sterling Foster, a senior health specialist with over 27 years of experience helping adults over 60 navigate blood sugar problems, fatigue, metabolic slowdowns, and those confusing health surprises that seem to appear overnight. And let me tell you something important before we begin. This is not about fear, and it's certainly not about perfection. I'm not asking you to give up every food you enjoy forever. I simply want to show you what often happens when the body finally gets a break from something it has been processing every single day for decades. Because many people blame aging, when sometimes the real problem is hidden in plain sight. Many adults tell me something like this: "Doctor, I'm exhausted all the time. I wake up tired. My blood sugar keeps creeping higher. I don't even eat sweets anymore, so what's going on?" And underneath those questions, I hear something deeper: fear. Fear of losing independence. Fear of medications increasing. Fear that something inside the body is quietly changing. If you've ever looked at your blood test and thought, something doesn't feel right, you are not alone. Day 1. Your body realizes something changed. The first day without bread is usually the hardest emotionally. Why? Because your body notices. Think of bread like constant fuel deliveries arriving to your front door. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. Your body gets used to expecting it. When it suddenly stops arriving, your system says, "Wait, where did my quick energy go?" This is when many people feel tired, headaches, cravings, irritability. And I want you to hear me carefully here. That does not automatically mean something is wrong. Sometimes it simply means your body is adjusting. One of my patients, Robert, age 67, told me he almost quit on day 1. He said, "Dr. Foster, I felt cranky and wanted toast so badly I nearly drove to the diner." But he pushed through. And what happened next shocked him. We'll come back to Robert in a moment, because day 2 is where something quiet begins happening inside the body. Day 2. The insulin reset begins. Most people don't feel dramatic changes yet, but internally, things are beginning to shift. Every time you eat refined carbohydrates, your body turns them into glucose. Then insulin rushes in to help move that sugar out of the bloodstream. But imagine hearing a car alarm every day for 20 years. Eventually, you stop responding. That is very similar to what can happen with insulin resistance. Your cells slowly stop listening. And after 60, this becomes much more common. Research from major metabolic studies has shown that reducing refined carbohydrates may improve insulin sensitivity in a surprisingly short time. In simple terms, your body may begin listening better again. Not perfectly, not overnight, but better. And this is where many seniors tell me something interesting. They sleep differently. Less waking up at strange hours. Less middle of the night restlessness. Less morning fog. If this has ever happened to you, tell me in the comments below. I read them because I promise you, more people experience this than you realize. Day 3, the craving day. Now let's talk honestly. Day 3, this is where most people quit. Not because they failed, because biology gets loud. Your body has spent years expecting quick carbohydrates. So suddenly, the cravings start shouting. Toast, bagels, crackers, cookies. Even foods you don't normally want suddenly sound tempting. This is the moment many people think, maybe this just isn't for me. But let me tell you what I told Robert. Day 3 is not failure. Day 3 is transition. Robert called me laughing later that week. He said, I realized I wasn't actually hungry. I just missed the routine. That sentence stuck with me because many of us are not eating from hunger. We're eating from habit. And what happens after day 3 may be the reason many seniors suddenly feel different. Because by day 4, your body starts changing fuel systems. And this is where things get interesting. Day 4, your body changes fuel. By day 4, something very important often begins happening. Your body starts adapting. Think of your body like a hybrid car. For years, maybe decades, it has depended heavily on one fuel source, quick carbohydrates. Bread, toast, sandwiches, crackers. But when that fuel stops constantly arriving, your body slowly begins looking elsewhere. And for many adults over 60, this is when energy begins feeling steadier. Not a caffeine rush, not jittery energy, just stable, more even, like someone slowly turned down the background noise. One of my patients, Linda, age 71, described it beautifully. She told me, Dr. Foster, I don't know how to explain it, but I stopped crashing at 2 inches the afternoon. Before, she needed coffee and something sweet just to stay awake. By day 4, no afternoon crash, no desperate snack search, and no brain fog. Now, everyone is different. But what Linda experienced is something I hear often. Because when blood sugar becomes more stable, energy often becomes more stable too. And what happens on day 5 is usually when people finally notice something measurable. Day 5, the number starts moving. This is the day many people walk to the glucose meter and stop. Pause. Look again. Then look one more time. Because the number changed. Not overnight magic. Not a miracle, but movement in the right direction. Many adults over 60 tell me, Doctor, this is the first time my fasting number has gone down in years. And honestly, that matters, especially if your fasting blood sugar has slowly been climbing. Those quiet little increases matter. Because blood sugar problems rarely arrive suddenly, they creep quietly, year after year. One patient of mine, Frank, age 69, had fasting glucose around 112 for nearly 2 years. His doctor simply said, "We'll keep watching it." And while that advice wasn't wrong, Frank wanted action. After 6 days without bread, his morning number dropped to 98. He looked at me and said, "So I'm not stuck?" And I told him something I want you to hear too. No, you are not stuck. The body can respond. Sometimes it just needs the right conditions. Now here's something people rarely talk about. Day 5 is also when some adults notice their body feels less swollen. Hands, feet, stiff joints, morning heaviness. And before anyone misunderstands me, bread is not the enemy for every human being. But many adults seem surprised by how different they feel after taking a break. Less puffiness, less heaviness, less inflammation feeling. If you've ever woken up feeling stiff in the morning, tell me below. You may be more connected to this than you realize. Day 6, the whole wheat surprise. Now let me gently challenge something many of us were taught. Whole wheat bread, the healthy bread, the one many people switched to because they wanted to do better. Here's the surprising truth. For blood sugar, whole wheat may not behave as differently as people think. Many adults believe brown bread is safe, but depending on processing, ingredients, and your body, the glucose response can still be significant. And this is where confusion happens. People say, Dr. Foster, I switched to whole wheat years ago. Yet, the fasting blood sugar keeps rising. The fatigue stays. The afternoon crashes continue. And they feel frustrated because they thought they were doing everything right. If that sounds familiar, please don't blame yourself. Nutrition advice has changed many times over the years. What matters now is learning what works for your body today. Because by day 6, something fascinating often happens. Many people stop craving bread altogether. Not everyone, but many. And that's when confidence starts coming back. They begin thinking, maybe I actually can do this. But before we finish, there's one thing I need to explain about day 7, because this is where expectations matter. Day 7. What changes and what doesn't? Let me be honest. 7 days will not change everything. And anyone promising miracles, be careful. Your A1C will not suddenly transform in 1 week. That number reflects several months. But your fasting glucose, your daily energy, your cravings, your sleep, those can begin changing much faster. Day 7 is not the finish line. It's proof. Proof that your body may still be capable of responding, even after 60, even after years of feeling stuck, even after frustrating doctor visits, even after wondering if this is just aging. Because sometimes it's not aging. Sometimes your body is simply overwhelmed. And when the pressure changes, the body responds. If you want to try this safely, for 7 days, remove bread, toast, rolls, bagels, crackers. Instead, focus on eggs, vegetables, Greek yogurt, beans, healthy proteins, healthy fats. Drink enough water. And if cravings hit, pause it. Wait 20 minutes. Many cravings pass faster than we expect. And if you monitor blood sugar, write your morning number down. Don't guess. Track it. Sometimes seeing progress becomes the motivation. Now I want to ask you something. If you tried 7 days without bread, what do you think would be hardest? Breakfast? Cravings? Habit? Tell me honestly in the comments. And if someone you love struggles with blood sugar, fatigue, or stubborn weight after 60, share this with them. Sometimes one small change opens a very important door. And if staying independent, energetic, and healthy after 60 matters to you, consider subscribing. I'd love to help guide you through this journey. Because aging well is still possible. And in the next video, I want to show you the breakfast food many seniors think is healthy, but maybe quietly raising blood sugar every single morning. You'll want to see that one.